Okay, so up next we have Ronald Lockington and Katie Paulich, and they are from psychology and will be presenting on hovering questions, are healing touch and therapeutic touch evidence-based practices?
Imagine your friend suffers from chronic back pain. She's tried nearly everything, but nothing seems to work for her. Finally, she tries therapeutic touch, a complementary and alternative medicine based on the idea that illness reflects an imbalance in the human energy field, and a practitioner can smooth out that energy field by hovering their hands over your body. She goes to a few sessions and reports that she's now nearly pain-free. As scientific researchers, we know that testimonials like these don't constitute evidence, but what if the research supporting these therapies is so flawed that it can't be constituted as evidence either? I'm Ronnie Lockington.
And I'm Katie Paulich, and we are working with Dr. April Bleske-Rechek within the psychology department. Now, you may be wondering, why does the psych department care about therapeutic touch and healing touch? Well, we care because psychology is at the forefront of understanding why people are swayed by supernatural thinking rather than scientific thinking. A big culprit behind this is what's known as the placebo effect, which is when an improvement of symptoms occurs because the patient expects a treatment to work. It is very important that scientific studies control for this placebo effect in order to produce real evidence. It is also important that these studies did not involve touch, which is different than energy transfer. Previous reviews of the literature have found that most articles actually fail to meet these basic requirements.
And having such critical errors is a real problem because these therapies are being taught as legitimate at universities nationwide. Further, if patients believe that these therapies are supported by evidence, then they might opt for energy therapies instead of something that might actually help them. For these reasons, we conducted our own review of published literature over the past 6 years to see if the methods have improved since prior reviews.
We searched several nursing databases and found about 60 articles on either therapeutic touch or healing touch. Only 34 of these were actually testing whether or not the methods were valid. We decided to look at these 34, calling them good if they did not involve touch, included a placebo group, and if patients were blind to condition. Only 9 studies of these actually met our criteria, and only 2 of those found solid evidence for either therapeutic touch or healing touch. What's more, the 25 poorly conducted studies, 2 were so bad that researchers misinterpreted their own data and declared support for therapeutic touch when their numbers actually did not. In addition, of the 25 poor studies, the majority supported therapeutic touch or healing touch.
And this is really concerning because these poorly designed studies are making it seem like there's strong evidence in support of these 2 therapies. Our review, as well as prior reviews, suggest that this simply isn't true. Therefore, we find it unreasonable to conclude that these therapies are evidence-based and are concerned that they're continuing to be taught at universities. Thank you. So the question was if most of the articles were from actual scholarly journals or kind of from a variety of sources. So of our original bigger number, those were from a variety of sources, although when we narrowed it down to the 34, those were actually in published scholarly articles. So the others were from magazines and things like that, but we narrowed it down to scholarly articles and did our quality assessment from there.